Story 1. I think about all the natural wonders, all the organisms, both beautiful and terrifying, that inhabit this earth with me. I think about the fact that no matter how bad things seem on our pale blue dot, the cosmos are massive and complex, and new stars are still being born in stellar nurseries all the time. I also like to think of my life from a historical context. I needed a root canal a few weeks ago and was pretty bummed about it until I remembered that old-time dentistry was whiskey and some person with a steady hand. Hardcore history and other such shows are also excellent workout motivation. My ancestors used to have to be ready to throw down and scrap. This bike ride to the grocery store is a cakewalk comparatively, and it's good for me too. Edit. Someone commented and reminded me of this amazing short story. Creative writing, novels, and art are also things that cheer me up greatly. Story 2. That despite the fact I suffer kidney failure and I am on dialysis 3 days a week, I remind myself that I am at least still alive and can still be with my family. Many other serious illnesses do not give that luxury. I would like to point out I am from the United Kingdom for those who have asked, Scotland to be more specific. Story 3. I text a friend and see if they want to have dinner. We plan something and cook it with a good drink, then another, repeating as necessary. Life feels pretty good after a few drinks and dinner with friends. Also, I get to try out a lot of new recipes. Story 4. Riding my bike and listening to music takes my mind off everything. I forget what's going on, and I'm just happy. Edit. Thank you for the upvotes and the 2 silver awards. I just got out of work, so this is quite a surprise. Thanks, everyone. Story 5. Hopefully, this gets past all the award stuff. But one thing that reminds me that everything isn't all bad is that I have people and pets that want me around. I can have an utterly terrible day, come home, and my dog is waiting at the door to greet me. Every day, I'll go lay down and he'll come cuddle with me. My sister notices the funk and will make me dinner or a dessert or something to lift my spirits, and I don't have to say a word. I'm close enough with my best friend that he can notice something off about me just by the way I text, and he'll come over to play some video games and talk. Please remember that there are people around you that love you and care for you. When you're having an utterly bad day, there are people that actively want to make it better because they care for you. You may not notice the ways that they do it, but they do. It can be as simple as just asking how your day was. They know, they can tell, or as elaborate as taking you out to unwind and have a fun time to forget and relax. No one is ever alone in this world, even if you feel it. And if you genuinely feel it, message me. I'm always welcoming conversations from anyone. Story 6. When I lay down at night with my cat, who is 20 years old, she's such a love bug. I am so lucky to have had her this long, and all the stress just melts away. This is Callie in 2000, which is the oldest picture I have of her. Callie now and me. Story 7. Right now, it's this photo that I saw in Photoshop battles a while back. This beautiful cat just fills me with so much joy when I look at it. Story 8. I laugh at myself for being a big old Eeyore. I think someone's trying to get people to reply to this thread, for one reason or another. Maybe they feel others need to see the replies. Story 9. I can die later. The world is going to kill me whether I like it or not, so why not stick around for a few more decades and see what happens? In some ways, it's comforting to know I don't have to do this forever, and I don't have to kill myself. Curiosity and things to look forward to, even TV shows, games, movies, or visits from relatives. I always pick something to look forward to. Story 10. My cat pretty much instinctively knows when I'm down. He gets very cuddly and won't leave my side if I'm upset. My fiancé always says that he must be a loved one reincarnated. Story 11. I had a stroke a couple of weeks ago, only 27 and no health explanation for the event. And while I was in the hospital walking down the hall with my good old buddy Winston, what I named my intravenous drip machine pumping me with blood thinner, an older gentleman across the hall saw me and told his nurse I was far too young to be in the intensive care unit. He had a little plastic pumpkin for Halloween and not much else, so he asked the nurse to give it to me. I never found out which patient gave me that pumpkin, but since the stroke, whenever things get stressful, I look at it, now sitting on my desk at work, and remember that everything is okay. I plan on keeping my little plastic stroke pumpkin for the rest of my life, however long or short it may be. Edit. Never thought I would have to be that girl, but this got way more attention than I had ever expected. I am going to be driving home soon from work, and I am still working on replying to all of the comments here. I just wanted to thank all of you for taking the time to show a little support. It really does mean something to me, and it is oddly comforting having so many absolute strangers take a moment to relate or offer encouragement. And of course, for those who decided me and my stroke pumpkin were worthy of actual currency, thank you very much for the awards. I am happy my experience could make an impression on someone else's day. Story 12. That I'm still breathing. After 2 suicide attempts, I haven't had a negative thought like that in a long time, a year to be exact. I haven't had a drink in a few weeks, and yes, I'm starting back at a job that I lost a few years ago. Surprised that they are giving me another shot. Also, it's winter, but it's been so beautiful the last week. And when my husband gets off work, we're going to go down to the water and just relax. Story 13. I have a very long list of things that give me a certain feeling, like appreciative nostalgia, almost but not quite. A few things from it are air conditioning in hotels, trains, lucky numbers, being introduced to something new by someone you love, mixes labeled with themes like rain, for sleeping, for driving, when the lights dim before previews in the movies. Story 14. My youngest daughter Emma is 1.5 years old and knows how to enjoy every second of life. She wakes with a smile and goes to bed grinning while holding her Winnie the Pooh. She falls while walking, dusts herself off, and keeps going. Every time she hears a motorcycle, she says, "Ooh," and then vroom vroom. Story 15. My mom died from cancer at the age of 48 while my sister was addicted to heroin, and my dad was cheating on her and going through bankruptcy. Regardless, she still showed people so much kindness and was a fantastic woman who was always smiling. I have depression, and my life isn't great right now, but I always tell myself that it can get better. If my mom could live day to day with a smile on her face, so can I. I feel more people going through a terrible time can really use an example like her to at least give them a little push in the right direction. Story 16. When days are hard and nights are long, when storms are raging rough, when all my dreams are none too strong, and hopes are not hope enough, I close my eyes to hear the breeze, the secret words inside, the whispered winds that shake the trees, the songs that skip and hide. I hear the rhymes that ride the tide, the swing, the sound, the beat, the lines that swell and slip and slide. In stanzas, small and sweet, I hear the sounds that hold and wait, for those who seek to find a safer shore, a surer state, a better frame of mind. When days are hard, when tempests cry, a squall of aches and pains, I close my eyes and breathe a sigh, and poetry remains. Story 17. That I am not part of all the horror that is going on in the world. I am not part of all the abused teenagers by their parents. I am not living in an area where there is war, hunger, and no education. I have the extreme benefit of living in a good neighborhood, without any criminal activity. In general, I compare myself to all the people my age who have it way worse. Then I realize how lucky I am, how good everything really is. Story 18. Preamble. I am in no way a badass, and in no way am I competing with anybody. Got mortared a few times in Afghanistan. After that, you come to realize that every day above ground is a gift. Story 19. I am still getting notifications about it. Thank you so much to whoever is trolling me. But it's appreciated. Not deserved, but appreciated. I can't believe the response this has received. I couldn't imagine this. You are all breathtaking, as a wise man once said. I'm sorry I can't respond to you all. Edit. I'm so overwhelmed, you guys. I don't know whether to cry or laugh, or just jump on my bed like a child in a Christmas advertisement. Thank you so much. Story 20. Remembering that statistically speaking, we live in the most peaceful and prosperous time in history. The average lifespan is the longest it has ever been, and the world is slowly yet constantly getting better for everyone regardless of the situation. It may not always look that way, but on average it is true. Story 21. In boot camp, our drill sergeant told us, It doesn't get easier. You get better. It's not what everyone needs to hear all the time, but it's gotten me through some rough patches. Story 22. Hi. Just wanted to comment on this and say thank you to everyone. I'll try to respond to everyone, but I'm a slow typer on a phone that freezes. Also, thank you to the person giving away these awards. You're making a lot of people happy. Edit. This is on the top posts page. If this makes it to a YouTube video, I'll be so surprised. I'm still trying to respond to everyone, but I'm not making much progress. Story 23. I have a 4-year-old who thinks I am the coolest dad ever. I feel like breaking down all the time, but I couldn't do that to him. I'm his rock, but really, he is mine. Story 24. 2 years ago, I tried to take my life. For a couple of months after it happened, I kept thinking, I should have died. I shouldn't be here. I don't know what to do. I realized my anxiety was so severe I was one panic attack away from attempting again. I realized while I'm here I had to try to get better. So I tried. I'm still trying. It's the hardest yet best thing I've ever done. What makes me realize it's not all that bad are those little moments in the last 2 years that made me think, I'm glad to have been alive for this. It's always small, silly things like a friend buying me a chocolate bar I love or playing a game I really enjoyed, but it's honestly worth surviving all the personal hell I've been through to experience it. Those are the moments that make me feel that it's not all so bad. Story 25. That's more of a mindset or perspective than anything else. If I'm having a bad day, I try to focus on the good things. It sounds very cliche to type it out, but just thinking of the millions of people that have it worse, some of them suffering life-threatening diseases or difficulties like being blind or disabled, and that despite that, some of them are even happier than I am in the moment, takes away some of the anger I could be having. I'm also Christian and believe there is a greater purpose or reason for things, and it does help me. Story 26. Just the fact that dogs exist. They are these animals that are about as perfect as a creature can get. A dog will never cheat on you, it will never cut you off in traffic and give you the finger, it will never pass you over for that promotion, it will never make fun of your weight. Your dog thinks you look fantastic in that outfit that you bought, but were kind of nervous to wear because it is not your usual look. Dogs are the best. Story 27. Honestly, nothing. Everything is really, really difficult. I grew up in a country that did not prepare me for my future life, with parents who did not support my passions and left me with nothing. My dad has passed away and left nothing, and my mom will not assist with anything and offers little to no emotional support. So I am in a dead-end career I do not enjoy because I had to choose at 18 the future of my life, and I was not informed by anyone about how important it really was. Then everything else is a mess. I have been treated unfairly by the police and people at work. I have never felt like anyone was on my side. It just feels like everyone on this planet is an enemy. The only thing that keeps me going is my love for music and my hope that I can become a music producer or somehow start my own business. Story 28. I always think about how I could have been born into bad circumstances. In my life, I am able to make my own choices, and I have the freedom to do as I please. I am able to have a job to provide for myself, and thankfully, I have my health. So no matter what I go through, I think about how some people are put into situations they were not able to control and unfortunately just are not capable of picking themselves up or simply do not have the support of friends or family. That always helps me keep my head held high and continue. Story 29. I look at it like this. I have clean, dry clothes and a roof over my head with people who care. Everything else will pan out and turn better with time. But for now, everything is all right. Story 30. I remember that I have human immunodeficiency virus and how bad it is. And then I remind others that their life's not that bad because they could have human immunodeficiency virus like me. The only thing that breaks my heart is seeing children with cancer or congenital illnesses. That makes me feel for the kids and their families. Story 31. Long rant ahead. This just recently happened. I am a healthcare security officer and see my fair share of awful. There was a woman I had to rush into the emergency room a few days back. Her husband comes running into the lobby where I was, eyes full of raw animal panic, saying his wife needs help. It was a miscarriage, an ugly one. A literal trail of heavy blood from the parking garage into the emergency room lobby. I was pretty shaken. I had to call environmental services to come clean it all up. The entire floor looked like a red and white watercolor for a good 30 minutes. I am sitting there at the emergency room desk, still messed up about it, feeling more and more depressed. The woman was rushed to surgery. The baby did not make it. Then I hear this laughter. I look up and see these parents with their beautiful little daughter skipping between them down that same path that just an hour ago was all blood. A long story short, seeing that juxtaposition sort of helped. Yes, there is so much awful, but give it an hour, sometimes even a minute, and here comes beauty and innocence, just skipping along. It really changed my perspective. Story 32. There's a weekly email called Rose-Colored Roundup. You can find past issues online. There is so much horribleness in the world. I need a weekly pick-me-up of some of the awesomeness going on to help me feel optimistic and happy about our future. This has really helped my outlook on life.